Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us here on ZTV Live. This is Make It Alexandria, and I am your host, Alyssa Kovach, founder of Alexandria Makers Market. This is my chance to get to know local makers just a little bit more in depth and for them to show you everything about their products and a little bit more about themselves. Tonight, I have Lucy of Carrhoots, and I cannot wait to get to talk to her and get to know her a little bit more. Hi, Lucy. Thank you for
Hey,
joining.
Alyssa. No, thank you. Thanks for having me on. I'm really happy to be here.
I am so excited. You guys, Lucy and I've known about Carrhoots for years now. We have kind of crossed paths at previous events around town. And most recently, just a week ago, at the Growing Pride of the Garden event. And I'm so glad that she joined us for that. So,
Oh,
Lucy,
that was a
would
great
you?
event.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, that was probably the most fun I've had post pandemic, you know.
Yes, yes, I agree.
So, Lucy, would you just tell everybody a little bit more about yourself and maybe a little bit more about Carhoots?
Yeah, sure. So you've probably picked up on the accent. My husband and I came here from Australia about 7 years ago with one son and quickly had a second, our little American. I was doing a little bit of sewing back home in Australia when I was on maternity leave after my first son. Just I don't like sitting at home doing nothing, so I kind of picked up the sewing machine again after a few years away and just kind of made a tote bag just for fun. And I enjoyed it so much, I made another one and another one. Then I acquired a few bags and I was like, what am I going to do with them all? And ended up having a couple of small scale kind of markets just in Melbourne within about 2 years of my son being born. And then my husband got a job opportunity to come to Washington, D.C., and it was too good not to knock back. And so we found ourselves over here. And initially, I wasn't able to work on my visa the first couple of years. So I just kept sewing and making bits and pieces. But it also gave me a chance to explore the different fabrics and the shops and what was available to me in America that's probably not available in Australia because it's too pricey, it's too far to ship, that kind of stuff. So I was able to find some new fabrics and styles, and yeah, just in my spare time, home with the kids, I started to sew a few more bags, and was just selling them at the Mums Club, just small kind of events. And then I discovered the Art on the Avenue one day. I was kind of just nearby, I live around the corner effectively, and discovered this enormous event selling so many vendors selling amazing stuff. And I thought, I've got to be here. I want to be here next year. And so I spent the next, I'd say, 6 months trying to sew enough bags to take photos to apply for Art on the Avenue. And I was just ecstatic when I got accepted that year. And then I realised I had like 4 months to make enough bags to actually have a decent stall worth of products to sell. I look back on those photos now and I think, oh gosh, I've definitely improved. I think I have better fabric choices. I've worked out the layout of my tent a bit better. So it's all been a great learning curve. And this is kind of my job. It's definitely not full time. I stay at home with the kids. But it's a good job to have in that it's my business. I can do it when I have time. My husband works a lot. He travels a fair bit. So that was always the priority. But it's a great job to give me a creative outlet, meet some new people, and I find sewing completely relaxing. So it's a really nice way at the end of the day to be productive, but also just to unwind and listen to a podcast or some music or whatever. So yeah, it's been great in that respect. Yeah.
I wanted to say that you talking about walking into Art on the Ave for the first time was almost the exact same experience that I had,
Oh,
which is
really?
it really is, and it was kind of the same thought. Like what could I do to be here one day? And so that's such a credit to Pat Miller and the whole crew that
Oh,
produced that every year. It's such a good event.
oh, it's amazing, isn't it? And just the variety of vendors. And I still think, even though there's other bag vendors there, I still think my product's different enough to distinguish me from them. So there's always a customer or whatnot. And now I think I've been 3 years, and last year was going to be my fourth. But I have regular people that always drop by to say hi or show me their bag that they purchased previously. So it's a really great day that I actually look forward to, as from a social aspect as much as a vendor. So fingers crossed we can get that up and running. Or it's happening this year. So Yeah.
Well, you have such a good point that, there are other people that make bags here in the city, but I feel like Carhoots has such a distinct style that when I see an Instagram post or, something, somebody wearing or using one of your bags, I almost automatically know it's one of yours.
Yeah.
Um, and so talk to me a little bit then. Has this always been your style, or is this evolving with you over
I
time?
think it has evolved. When I first arrived, I discovered fabric.com for a website, and I can get a limited number of products or fabrics that I liked, was durable enough for my tote bags, but it was a bit limited in the kind of the range, the prints and the colours. And I found a couple of other websites were good for like more my what you're showing now, my makeup bags and my smaller bags. But I can definitely remember I made myself a tote bag. I ran my first marathon. I wanted a tote bag that had something to remember my marathon. So I got this funky fabric with running shoes all over it. And so I got that from Spoon Flower, and I got a couple of extra meters so I could make multiple bags. And whilst I was on Spoon Flower, I was like, oh, what's this? What's this? And I got a great poppy fabric and one with little dachshunds on it. And I took those, I had enough to take one of each of those to, I think, my second Art on the Avenue. And so I say I had 60 bags on display, and maybe 6 or 7 of those were Spoon Flower fabrics. Every single time someone came into my booth, they focused on those Spoon Flower fabrics without a doubt. I could just watch their eyes go, oh, nice, nice, nice. Oh, that one. It was just amazing. It was clearly the standout. And so I thought, well, every single Spoon Flower print bag has sold. Everyone was asking about more. And so when I went into Spoon Flower and I spent hours just looking at their amazing patterns, that's when I really feel like my bags just look even better. I make quite simple style bags, but I think they really pop with these prints that I'm getting from Spoon Flower. So
I
I've always made sure I contact those designers on Instagram. I always, tag them, and then I often send them a message saying, your bags, I can't make enough. Like, they just walk off the shelves. I'm constantly buying like the green eucalyptus print that I got from a lady in Vancouver, and she's delighted to know this kind of stuff. So it's really fun being able to tell people that their prints are really successful on my bags. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
if you're out there watching and you're not totally familiar with Spoonflower, it is a
Oh,
really fun site where indie artists design the fabric, and it's kind of expanded to other products as well. But so when she's buying that fabric, she's supporting an independent artist, which is super
that's
cool.
right.
Yeah. So I love all of that, and I actually really love that you're still kind of in contact with those artists and just letting them know and giving them that feedback, because that is just all part of that hometown local vibe
Mm.
that makes you as special as it, and the whole brand of Carhoots really stand out and apart from the mass produced items
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
there. So talk to us then a little bit about the different products that you do usually carry in the different fabrics.
Okay, so I think I'm probably most known for my large tote bags, which are the big cotton bags. They're 100% cotton, very durable, like a duck canvas on the exterior with a thick cotton fabric on the inside. All my bags always have a zip pocket for security, and either fabric or sometimes I have the leather handle options. All my bags can be washed, and it's so funny when I have a bag that might be black with a lot of white. The lady will be like, "Oh, oh, it might get dirty," and I say, "Well, it's machine washable, air dry, and if you can be bothered, you can give it an iron." And they go, "Machine wash, cool, I'll take it." So it's great knowing that's they're so practical. That's the thing, and they carry so many things. Like, one lady once asked me, would I do with a tote bag? And I was like, I think the question is, what wouldn't you do with a tote bag? Like library books, taking it to the schoolyard, or the gym, the groceries. The way they're designed, they're great for, like, if you ever buy a bunch of flowers, you can kind of put them in the front of the bag and have them in front of your shoulders. So that, yeah, if you look at that roller skate one there, a great way to protect your flowers that you've just purchased at the farmer's market. So I really enjoy making those with the bold prints. So that's probably my and they're great for display in my booth. I think that's what really gets their their line of vision. My big colourful bags, and then my second most popular item, I'd say, is the little makeup bags that I make. So they're a bit of fun, and when they're unzipped, they kind of sit upright. Hang on, I'm just opening one for you now. So some of you may know what this is. Just off topic a bit. This print here is exercise bike. The reasoning behind this is the whole Peloton cult that seems to have taken off in the past 12 months with everyone exercising from home, and I can proudly say I joined that cult and I'm addicted. So I think the makeup bags and the tote bags are my kind of most popular items. I also make some little clutch purses, which I call these my coffee clutch. The idea being that, if you're just popping out for a coffee with a girlfriend, you just want to have your credit card, your keys, lipstick, and your phone. And this is all you really need. And I always have a little slip pocket down the back there. I think you can just see. So you can pop your credit card in there. And the back side is always a pretty thick denim or canvas. That's the side you kind of pop on the table. So if it gets a bit damp or discoloured, no one's going to be able to really tell. The top side's still pretty. And then something else I've introduced in the last 12 months. This is actually quite cool. Someone approached me on Instagram, actually, and she asked me if I could make a project bag. And I had no idea what one was. And I said, oh, probably, but can you tell me what it is? And she gave me a link to an Etsy page of someone making these project bags very cheaply. And she said, I know this is cheap, but I'm quite happy to pay more because I like your colours and your fabrics and everything. So I said, well, give me a little time to make a pattern and see if you like it. So I did. I made one up. She was like, yeah, that'd be great, but we chose different prints and whatever. But I'll just show you what a project bag is. These are great, actually, because first of all, they are very, very flat, which is great for postage and storage. So if you ever need to post one of these to someone across the country, minimal postage. But anyway, when they're open, they bulk out a little bit. And the idea with these is you put your wool or your wool in here, hook this on your arm. Now you're hands-free, so you can continue knitting or crocheting whilst the wool just feeds out of your bag. And then there's pockets on here for, knitting needles, scissors. Clearly I'm not a knitter. I don't know quite the terms. But anyway, you get the drift. So these bags have been great, and what I especially love about these bags is that it gives me a chance to really contrast two quite different fabrics. So this is a couple of prints I got from Spoonflower, and I thought they were really complimentary, actually. And that one there went to my girlfriend in Denmark. Camilla, if you're watching, that was for you. But I actually have a funny story about this bag I've got in my hand. So see this print up here with the tall daisies, also from Spoonflower. And so once I buy a fabric, I generally go and follow that person on Instagram. And this lady, after a while, I realised she's in Alexandria, Virginia. And I was like, what are the chances? And then she has her picture on her Instagram page so I could see her. And often she would say, I went for a walk this morning. And then I was like taking my kids for a walk before virtual school. And I was like a couple of times like, I think that's that lady from Instagram whose fabric I bought. So I contacted her and I said, I think we cross paths in the morning. And so we do. So it's been hilarious that from the whole world of people that design for Spoonflower, I've chosen this gorgeous print from a lady who lives like a mile away. And then when I went to that pop-up, you were there too, Alyssa. It was in Delray, early May or something. Mm-hmm. I was next to a guy doing stained glass windows, and it was her husband. So, this whole world. And there was a lady who was looking at buying two makeup bags. There was one in this print and one in something else. And I said, well, this one has a funny story. And I explained to her how it was designed. The print was actually designed by that guy there's wife, who just lives around the corner from me. And she was like, oh, sold. I'll take that one. So I love all that kind of stuff. Like, that's what happens when you're in person. So I don't know, I always keep an eye on her. She does some really nice fabrics, and I like the colours that she uses, which I think are a bit different from other designers. So Lizzie, if you're watching, thank you. Keep up the good work.
That makes my heart so happy, just that the whole progression of that. So yes, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And there could be some really fun collaborations because I actually think there are a few other people that do fabric in Alexandria as well. So we'll have to talk and connect
Yeah,
and all those
yeah.
good things. That's
Yeah, but back on
amazing.
those project bags, I think what I particularly like is the mixing of the fabrics, just
Yeah.
very. And then I had a lady who contacted me from, I think she was Pittsburgh. She's definitely from Pennsylvania, and she ordered 6 project bags for her girlfriends for Christmas. And we had a blast just matching fabrics and prints and whatnot. And we obviously had exactly the same taste because maybe I sent her 12 options, and the 6 that she chose were exactly the same 6 that I would have picked, and the one that she most liked was the one that I was my favourite too. So yeah, I really enjoyed sewing that. So I'm always happy if people have. I'm happy to do custom orders, mix and match, find something that fits your tastes, because I have a lot of fabric to choose from. So the only unfortunate thing was with the postage problems over Christmas. I don't think the bags arrived until late
Yeah.
January, but she was still happy with them. So, yeah, it was great.
That was actually going to be one of my questions. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that. So we'll kind of repeat that and remind people that you are up for custom. But I just think that's so fun. And it's probably so much more meaningful for the recipient if
Yeah.
it's, the fabric's been specially chosen. And so that's so fun. I'm actually looking behind you a little bit at
Yep.
that lamp, and that kind of
Oh,
looks like that would be your style as well. So, is that something that you
yes.
chose?
Yes, yes. I think I had that on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, actually. So, this was one of those things like during the pandemic, not having markets to really attend, been trying a few new things, and I'd love to get into home decor. And I don't know, I just thought, I think I have good fabrics for lamps. And I ordered that fabric, but in a smaller sizing. But for some reason, it came in this large print. So I think it was too big for my tote bags. And I was like, what can I do with it? It's too good to waste. And I was like, oh, how about a lampshade? So I watched a few tutorials. I thought that can't be that hard. And then I purchased all the pieces. I can't remember what the fabric is on the inside, styrene or something like that. And then the frame. And it was a costly exercise. And I always, whenever I do something for the first time, I kind of expect, I don't expect to sell it because I think I can usually do it at a cheaper price. So I've made this frame and I think it all came up beautifully. It was actually the second one I made. But what I didn't realise when I bought it, it comes like you only get 2 like circle bits, one for the top and one for the bottom. And the bit that sits on the base, the lamp base, which you can buy from wherever, there must be different sizes. So the ones I bought were too big for absolutely every lamp base that I could find. And so I thought, what a shame, I've made these 2, what I think, gorgeous lampshades, but they wobble when I put them on any lamp base. And that's when another local guy, Warren from Delray Metalworks,
Oh,
I
yeah.
found him. I don't know how. I actually think I found him through Etsy when I was looking at some of his flowers. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's Delray in Alexandria. And it was. So I found him on Instagram and I was like, oh, I wrote him a message, said, oh, hey, Warren, I'm nearby. I have a small metal working job you may or may not want to help me with. But he said, yeah, bring it over. I'll have a look. And so he's kindly fixed my frames so that now they fit snugly on my lamp bases and don't wobble. So now I can use them. So that's been great.
Well,
But you see, isn't that funny who you find nearby? So and then of course Warren was at Growing
at
Pride
Growing Pride,
recently.
yes,
So
yeah.
yes,
So
he's
he's been on the show, and yeah, we love Delray Metalworks. So
yeah.
shout out to
So
him.
it's
That's amazing.
yeah. So I was like, I didn't know where would I go for a metal worker. Like I had no idea, and little did I know there's one just around the corner. So that was wonderful. Yeah. So I'd love to do some more lamps. The biggest problem is if I have a market in December, I can't store 15 lamps in my
No.
like this is the storage is keeping things intact. And then also, as I kind of touched on, it was too costly. It was too much. I can't expect to ask. You could buy a nice, pretty lamp at Target or somewhere else, much more reasonable. Even though it's got the homemade element to it, so I need to work on costing and whatnot, which I actually don't mind. It's a bit of a challenge trying to find better ways to do things or cheaper ways without letting the quality of the final product kind of be affected. So strangely, I enjoy that.
I think that's very candid of you, but I also think that that's one of the beautiful things about finding a local maker and just really making sure that we're paying what they're worth for the time and the expertise
Yes.
and really the love that is poured into each item, because these are not mass produced in any way, shape, or form. And
No.
so I think I don't know. I can't wait to see the new range of lampshades once you get everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
ready for that. And then what
This.
are you
Yeah.
working on any other projects, between
Well,
now and
I've recently made my husband some cushion covers for our new bedspread. I think that was one of the photos that showed up. Was our 10-year wedding anniversary. I had no idea what to do get him, so I went to my favourite shop, Spoonflower, and there we go. And I bought him that doona, or duvet, whatever you want to call it, and which I really like. I like the duvet. I love that, and I love that print. And the good thing with Spoonflower was, I can't remember the designer's name, so I'm sorry, guys. I had the doona printed and the pillowcases, but I made the 3 cushions at the front, and I could order those fabrics myself and make those pillowcases. I mean, pillowcases, they're so effective, and it's so easy just to be able to, like, come winter, I can easily zip off those yellow pillowcases and put something darker. So I'm sure my husband will appreciate the years of bedroom
I
decor I'm providing.
I think it's beautiful. I really do. And I mean, I imagine that took a chunk of time to finish that full project. That's
Oh, actually, that wasn't too bad. That's something I can do quite easily, and so I think my fabrics would also be pretty appropriate for pillowcases or cushion covers, I suppose. And it's how much can I tie those into maybe matching or complementary lampshades, which, yeah,
mm,
that's kind of the thought that I'm having at the moment. Yeah. But then I
that's
also
really
think, Alyssa, kind of going further, how would I present all this at a market? So another big issue I have is actually getting to the market, like taking all this stuff. We have
yeah.
a relatively small car. I always have to get a babysitter for the kids because I can't fit them in the car at the same time as all my stuff. And pretty much I can only bring as much as we can put into the car without creasing anything. So if I was to do lampshades, something would have to go, and I don't know
Yeah.
what that would be. So Art on the Avenue is good because my husband can kind of do shovel runs, many trips during the day, but further afield, I don't want him having to, come backwards
Yeah.
and forwards. So yes, market day logistics sometimes the hardest part of all, actually. Yeah.
It's just chaos usually, but
Mm.
it
But
works
I
out.
love it, actually. I really enjoy market days, so I actually wouldn't change it. Mm.
Speaking of, we're starting to do in-person events, and you and I just did one recently. And so, if people are on the lookout for your bright displays, where are some of the places that are on your schedule that you know of at the moment?
Yep. So I've just organised this great one. It's Christmas in July. It's at Lost Boys Cider, just on Eisenhower Avenue there. I'll be there on the Sunday, so that will be good. That's late July, and then from then I have one at the Mosaic District in Fairfax. That's the last Saturday of September.
Mhm.
And then I have Art on the Avenue on the 3rd of October, and then the following weekend I'm at Fairfax. I can't remember the full title of that. So that's 3 successive full days for me, which that's a lot of sewing to so I need the kids to behave. But they're the days that I will be, out and about in markets. But if you're happy to, always just chat on Instagram or Facebook. I get a lot of work through just people liking my comment or liking my post on Instagram, and then they'll send me a direct message, and we'll go from there. Something they might like a print, but they might want it in a different style bag, and so I'm I'm surprised. I don't have an Etsy page, I don't have a website, but yet I actually keep very busy, just meeting those custom orders. And I also, thankfully, I stock at a shop called Sweet Clover. They're out in Maryland. They're like one of those vintage farmyard kind of
Oh,
barns.
fun.
They're
Yeah.
so cute. Oh my gosh, the girls there do the best displays. Like every time they post, I'm like, I just want that whole thing. I just want all those things. How do you explain this to my husband? I don't know, but Oh, it's gorgeous. They just had a pop up in Bethesda for a few weeks, so I think I had my summer things at Bethesda, and my more kind of year round things were out at their barn out in Frederick Fredericks. Was it Fredericksburg? Which one's in Maryland? I forget. I don't know. Frederick, I think it is in Maryland. So yeah. So it's great. So I probably need to give them some more things soon. So yeah, I'm always busy. That's the thing. I've always got something to sew. So which is makes me happy. So yeah.
I love to hear that, and I'm so excited. That I mean, those are a lot of really really high quality events. I love the Mosaic District. It's not Alexandria, but they do an amazing job
No,
over
sorry.
there, and they all know, and they always support Northern Virginia makers, which is still as
Mm.
local as you can get. So that's great. I do want to. I'm going to take a minute to promo that Christmas in July event that you
Oh,
mentioned.
please.
Um, you guys, Alexandria Makers Market has partnered with Lost Boy. We're really excited for that. And we're going to take over their parking lot, and there's going to be different local makers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So a full weekend of fun things that you can kind of come and check out. And of course, grab your cup of cheer from Lost Boy. And if you guys haven't, you should go and maybe watch the previous episode when Tristan was on, because his story and how he makes his cider is actually super interesting as well. I'm also biased. I think everybody's story is super interesting. So, but I would invite everybody to come and check it out, the makers, and just enjoy some local goodness and with our neighbors. So, Lucy, I'm gonna ask one more time for you to repeat like the best way for people to get a hold of you and to make a purchase. Maybe it's something that you've already kind of put together. Maybe it's something custom, but how do people get a hold of you?
Sure. The best way is probably Instagram. You can just send me a direct message or like a post and ask me to contact you, and I'll send you a message. That's fine. Or if you're not on Instagram, Facebook through my Carrhoots Homemade is also, I'll get you on either one of those. So my plan was to have a website up and running in the last 12 months when my youngest, and I was going to do that when my youngest one got to school, but unfortunately we went to virtual schooling and I did kindergarten again instead. So hopefully I'll get a website up and running shortly. But to be honest, I do well enough just having contact via Instagram and Facebook, and then my markets, which I love going to markets and meeting people that I'm actually not in a rush at this stage. So yes. And I
That
think I make more. I think because I make things, I do small runs of things. I don't
mm,
do 20 of the same bag. At most, I think I probably made 10 of one particular bag over the years. That would be the most of anything. But so I think people appreciate buying something that they know they're not going to see the whole of town carrying around. So I always say, if you see something you like, it's best to grab it when you see it, because it often goes, yep.
I was going to say that's the caution that to everybody,
Yeah,
right?
well, that chocolate, I posted a bag yesterday for National Chocolate Day, and it was sold. I was dropped it off this morning, so
That's
it's wonderful.
amazing. That
We
is
need more
amazing.
national days.
Well, Lucy, I'm super excited to continue to run into you at events. I actually was too busy to come and see your booth throughout the
No,
Growing
that's
Pride. I'm
great.
so glad to see you at Christmas in July and actually get a chance to maybe do some shopping myself. And I'm just looking forward to kind of seeing maybe the new products that are going to roll out whenever it happens. And
Yep.
it's just so fun and bright and cheery. And I think, um, it seems to make you very happy, and the products themselves just bring a lot of sunshine and joy. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh, thank you.
wonderful. So,
Thanks,
Lucy,
Alyssa.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And those of you that are watching at home or maybe the recording later, thank you also for watching. And in the meantime, make sure you come back here next week. We're going to have an amazing ZTV lineup Monday through Thursday at 7 o'clock. Come back here. Monday is Living on Music with Steve House. And as you go through your week, keep it local as much as possible. Make it Alexandria, and go be the good news in someone's life.
Can I just take? Oh.
Wait, you have time. You have time.
Can I still say something?
Yes.
Yes, I just want to do a shout out to my family back home in Melbourne are all tuning in to watch this, so I want to say hi. Mom, I hope you managed to get in. I'll send you the link later on, but hi to everyone. I missed you all very, very much. And thank you all for liking all my posts. I hope you're well and getting out and about, but I appreciate the support back home. Yep. So
I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.